I understand that this movie was for the most part based on a true story. However, there are some features that have been sworn to be factual by the police department in Vallecas, Madrid. The start of Veronica begins with the aftermath of her possession. The police hear a ghastly scream coming from Veronica's room, only to find her hunched over and possessed. The story of Veronica actually starts 3 days prior to the call to the police, starting with her joining in on a seance in hope to contact her recently deceased father and a friend of hers' dead boyfriend. However, her seance is interrupted and Veronica begins to suffer from hallucinations and delusions, believing she is possessed, seeing a dark shadow following her and her siblings. 3 days later, in hope to rid the demon that torments her, she, along with her siblings, use the Ouija board to force the demon to leave. When this is unsuccessful, the Shadow Man begins to attack her and her siblings forcefully, resulting in them running outside of the apartment. However, Veronica, believing she is holding her youngest brother, is in fact suffering from a hallucination. As she runs back into the apartment, she realizes that the attempts the Shadow Man had on hurting her siblings were because of her, and in actuality, the demon had already possessed her. Returning back to the beginning of the film, the police enter her room, finding her levitating off the ground, believing by the police force to be suffering from a possession. She is taken to the hospital, but dies being driven there. The actual story, on the other hand, is for the most part completely different. The girl who the film portrays in the film is based off of Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro. However, I use the word portrayed very loosely. On June 15th, 1991, Detective Jose Ramon Romero went to the home on 8 Geraldo Nunez Street in response to an emergency call. In their statement, family members declared that after her daughter's seance with a Ouija board was stopped abruptly, the girl had shown several strange symptoms, like delusions and hallucinations, and reported paranormal events taking place in their home. In the actual story, the police were called a year after Stefania's death. The investigators entered the home, claiming to hear a loud noise from the porch. When they went to investigate the sound, a door behind them closed loudly, resulting in several officers leaving, feeling dizzy and nauseous. Schizophrenia explains the hallucinations and delusions. As well as this, schizophrenic symptoms can be caused due to stressful situations. A difference between the real case and the movie is that Estefania's father didn't die, but it was instead her grandfather who had died. This would have placed copious amounts of stress on Estefania, showing that schizophrenia could be a possible explanation as to what caused Estefania's episodes. Furthermore, schizophrenia does not explain what the detectives claimed to have seen at the end of the movie. This would instead be explained by psychogenic seizures, which I explained in greater detail in my previous video. Psychogenic seizures cause individuals to repeatedly convulse and shake, showing what looks like a possession. Therefore, this would explain the remaining symptoms of Estefania's possession. However, this raises a problem. Schizophrenia and epilepsy are mental illnesses that do not overlap, meaning that you can't have schizophrenia and epilepsy at the same time. However, in rare cases, the symptoms of schizophrenia can overlap with epilepsy, with some patients, although they are epileptic, experience hallucinations and delusions. Combined with psychogenic seizures, this would explain all the symptoms shown in Veronica. Lastly, as explained in my I'm Skeptical of Ghost Adventures video, I explained an experiment that showed that certain frequencies can induce nausea and dizziness. Being a sensible sort, he cast out for a logical explanation, and he found one in the phenomenon of resonant frequency. He concluded that the grey blob he'd seen was an optical illusion, the result of his eyeballs resonating at just that frequency. For his feelings of anxiety and fear, when we finally switched off, it was as if a huge weight had been lifted, similar to what the detectives felt in their home. Furthermore, this theory would also explain how the family were able to see a shadowy figure, as the pitch of waves affect the retinas, creating a blurry vision which could be mistook as a shadowy figure. The scream could be due to the sound of a fox, or somebody screaming nearby, and changing wind pressure may explain why the door slammed suspiciously. What do you think of Veronica? Down in the comments below. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? I hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for watching.